Okay, for this particular question, we have to do stuff on coordinate geometry before we can solve it. They're asking us for the gradient of a line. Okay, under coordinate geometry, we'll do the distance of a line. We'll do distance of a line. We'll do midpoint of a line. We'll do gradient of a line. And then we can do the equations of the line. Different equations of what now of the line. These are the things that we'll just play around, right? For what? For coordinate geometry. So if I give you if I have a straight line, let's say I have this line, and I want to find out the distance from this point A to point what? B. I've told you several times before now that if you divide what? A plane into two axes, it becomes a Cartesian what now? Plane. You get what I'm saying? So let me try and create a Cartesian plane for this. If, for example, you have to pay rapt attention to this, so that, okay, let me use a different color. You have to, so that you don't miss out on anything. Then I have this, for example, and then let me say that this point down here, down to this point is 2, for example, and then if I take this down, this down to this point is, let's say, 8, right? Then this, if I drag this point to this edge, you know this is the y-axis and this is what? X-axis, right? If I drag to this point, let's say I have 1 here, and then if I drag this to this point, let's say I'm having what now? 1, 2, 3, let me say I have 5 here, for example, right? If I'm asking you for the coordinates of A, okay, let's talk about coordinates on the point. You guys already know that, so it's not going to waste my time around there. Coordinates of A is going to be what? 2 and what? And 1. Because your coordinates will give you the x and what now? The coordinates will fit into the x and y value. You know what I'm saying? The first coordinate is your x coordinate, and the next one is what now? The y coordinate. On the Cartesian plane, right? Every point can be traced to what? So the x-axis, and traced to the what? Y-axis. Where it's what now coincides with the x-axis is the x-coordinate, and where it coincides with the what? Y-axis is the y-coordinate. Just put that enough. Are you with me? So for A now, for point A, I'll have what? 2 and what? And 1. Meaning that what now? This point A coincides with what? With 2 on the x-axis, and what now? 1 on the y-axis. Are you with me? So without any further ado, I want you to tell me what the coordinates for B will be. 8 and what now? 5. So the coordinates for this 8 and what? And 5. Alright? Now if I continue this line, line all the way to this point, right? And I continue this line all the way, if I continue this line all the way to this point, you will see that I get what? A right angled what? Triangle. Are you with me? A right angled what now? Triangle. So the length AB is like my hypotenuse. That's the longest side. Are you with me? Yeah. So let me call this, okay, let me call it R, for example. Capital R, right? And let here be what? The change in what? X is actually changing X. And here's what? Changing what? In Y. So for me to find the adjacent sides, it's going to be what now? The change in X and what now? Change in Y. Along both paths. Are you with me? If you don't get this, you'll have issues as I go further. So what is change in Y? Mind you, this guy here is what? It's X1, and this is what? X2. And if I'm taking on this side, this is what? Y1, and what now? Y2. So the guy is change. Change in X is going to be what? X2 minus what? X1. And change in Y, change in Y, Y2 minus what now? Y1, right? Okay, let me help myself a little bit. So I can use this space. Right? So I've said that what? Change in what? In y is y2 minus what? y1. And change in x is what now? x2 minus what? x1. Some textbook will use what now? y1 minus what? y2 and x1, but you still get the same value at the end of the day. Do you understand? I will explain that as we go further. Alright? So if I'm doing this, what is going to be the change there? It's very simple. 5 minus 1 is what? 4. So this whole length is what now? It's 4. This guy is called 4. And this one is what? 8 minus what? 2. Minus 2. So the whole of this length is what now? 6. Are you with me? But let's just do it to fulfill our righteousness. Change in x is going to be what now? 8 minus what? 2. This is my x2, this is my what? x1. So at the end of the day, I get what? I get 6. That's 6 units. Whatever the unit will be. Therefore, what now? Change in y is going to be what? y2 minus y1. What's y2? y2 is what? 5. y1 is what? 1. So I have 5 minus what? 1. That'll be what? 4 units. So I have what now? 6 units of what? For change in x, and then 4 units for what now? Change in y. That has been established. Let me try something else. Very quickly, I should find a space for you. I hope I can. Okay. Let's get back there. What is the formula for calculating a right angle triangle? The hypotenuse is going to be what now? R squared is going to be what? Change in what? X squared plus what? Change in what now? Y squared. If I square root both sides, the square root cancel what now? The square. So I have R, and because these ones are adding, I can't cancel what now? The square. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have to get a single value to be to cancel out. So I end up getting what? Change in x squared plus what? Change in y squared. And all what now? Square rooted. So to get distance, this is the formula for calculating what now? Distance. I will not do this again. So anytime they just ask us to find what? Distance of a line. The distance of the line is going to be what now? Change in x squared plus what? Change in what now? Y squared. Are you with me? This has been what now? Established. So if I want to calculate the length of AB, distance from A to B, this is the symbol for distance from A to B. It's going to be what? What is change in x squared? We'll go what? 6, right? 6 squared plus what? Plus 4 squared. Or what now? Square root. So I'm getting 36 plus what? 16. 36 plus 16 is what? 36 plus 16.
52.
It took you that long. Thank you. So what now? I have what? Root 52. I can use this as, but usually you can find the square root. Square root of 52 is what? Square root of 50 can be 52. 7 point what? 7.2 what? Okay, so to one decimal place, right? 7.2 what now? Units. I get it. So it means that what now? The length of that line AB, what? 7.2 what? Units. Is that alright? This is the first part. So from here now, I'll go to what? To midline, to midpoint formula. Is that okay?